Hi everyone. Thank you for listening again, and I'm already at episode 24. So yeah, feeling much proud because I really like the podcast, and hopefully you will love them too. Um, I'm now in my studio downstairs. There's another photographer teaching about photography, and what's coming up next week is my Lucie membership, a new month in March with lots of new content. And but today we have a lovely guest, namely Lauren.
Hi.
Hi, Lauren Carey. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much for having me.
And maybe you can tell something about yourself if people don't know you.
Yeah, sure. So I'm Lauren. I'm a British food photographer and educator living in Switzerland. I've been living here for the last 8 years. I have a YouTube channel where I teach all about food photography. It's just under my name, Lauren Karras Short. And yeah, I also created Food Photography Academy. So I love sharing lots of tips and tricks alongside doing lots of client work as well.
Yeah, great. Yeah, I think I discovered you through YouTube, I think.
Oh, was it really?
Yeah,
It was so long ago. I always forget like where I originally met people because I feel like we've known each other a long time now.
Yeah, yeah. It was about the video about how to work with the light.
Oh yeah, that's definitely one of the most popular ones.
Yeah, and I can remember I printed also the picture. Maybe you also had a blog post about it. I don't know, but I just printed it, so I know exactly where I have to put my lamp and behind or next to my setting. And I really was a starter.
Oh,
So,
wow.
yeah, I wanted to discover everything also about light. So that was my first introduction with you, actually.
Oh, that's awesome.
Because when did you started making YouTube videos?
Oh gosh, when did I start? I want to say in 2017 was my first official YouTube video. I think the first one was a Lightroom one about some editing hacks. And then that light one came about a year later. And then with my channel, it's been a little bit sort of on and off in the first couple of years, but in the last year or so, I'm really trying to get more consistent with it and really build a platform there. I really love YouTube as a platform. It's for me, I love connecting with people through video. I feel like it's a good way to do demonstrations. They can get to know you a bit, you can get to know them, and I really enjoy it. So yeah, what is that, 5 years now? Nearly 5 years. Yeah. Wow. Time flies.
Yeah, and how did you already worked in 2017 as a food photographer?
Yeah, I did. So I actually started my food photography in around 2014. At that time, I was still working in my corporate job. I was working in HR and expat tax, very fun. So I was doing both alongside each other for about a year before I quit my corporate job. And then in 2015, that's sort of when I started full time with food photography. And then over the next couple of years, developed into teaching. And then, yeah, by 2017, that was sort of when the teaching really started as well.
And when did you decide, oh, okay, now I'm going to quit my regular job and I want to focus on food photography?
Yeah, I think for me, there was a bit of a moment where there was some life circumstances that kind of forced a bit of a decision. So we'd moved to Switzerland in 2014. We were living in Basel, which is in sort of on the border of Germany and France in North Switzerland. And at that time, my husband was working in Basel. I was working in Basel. So it made sense. And then about 18 months after that, his job was being moved to Zurich, which is not that far away, but as a daily commute, it would be quite long. It's maybe an hour and a half each way. So we had decided to move to Zurich to make life easier. So at that point, I sort of had this choice as to whether look for another job in Zurich or try doing what I'd already been doing on the side full time. So we talked about it, and I kind of decided it was a good time to try. I didn't necessarily feel 100% ready yet. My business wasn't quite where I would ideally have wanted it to be, to go full time. But then I think taking that step and going full time allowed me to take it the rest of the way. And yeah, so that's sort of how it happened. Yeah.
I think it's often so great to hear how people did started and when they got the feeling, okay, maybe I have to take the step right now. And then you had the YouTube videos a year later. And when did you start with the Food Photography Academy?
So that actually evolved out of my courses in the beginning of 2020. So I'd been running online courses, I think, since around 2018. So about a year after I started with the YouTube and the blog and everything. And those courses have been going really well. But I think
those were courses people could buy?
Yeah, exactly. So online courses. I had, at that time, I think I had one in composition and one in manual mode. And it was the kind of usual online course format. It would open and close. We'd do launches, get a bunch of students. And it was great. It worked really well. But for me, I just felt like doing something different. It's something where I could have a bit more contact with people, kind of stop this on-off launch cycle as well. Just for me personally, I found that quite tiring. So I decided to try doing a membership. And at the beginning of 2020, that's when I opened Food Photography Academy for the first time. And I stopped selling my online courses like I was before. So it was a big change, but it's been a good one.
And also because like Food Photography Academy is a membership actually also.
It is, yeah. So students can join at the moment monthly or annually. We have a mix of both. So it's quite flexible for them. It's definitely, from a running perspective, there's different challenges with a membership than there are with launches, but I really enjoy the higher level of contact that I get with students, and I actually get to know them, I think, really well, and meet them on our calls and everything. So yeah, I really like it.
And because of course I also started with some online courses, and now I have my Lucie membership and a business program. But I know, and I had to learn everything about the sales and doing the launch. Maybe you do recognize it.
Oh yeah, I think it's a learning curve for sure, because it's very different than selling like a product online. It's a whole different ball game, and yeah, there's a lot of technical setup in, I'm sure you know, sort of how do you decide once someone signs up, what content do they get access to? So you make sure that as soon as they've subscribed, then they're going to get access to everything, and but also that if their membership stops, then they don't get access to everything. And there's a lot of things to work out, but there's a lot of systems out there which help with that. Personally, I'm using MemberPress at the moment, but I know there's a lot of different options out there, and even some of the online course platforms now I think even can work like a membership as well. I think I don't have a lot of experience myself, but I've heard that Kajabi can do memberships, maybe. I think so. Yeah, there's definitely options out there to make the tech side a bit easier.
And what do you still launch your membership of the Food Photography Academy? Because I'm now searching, because I just started, so I think people, I have to remind people that my Lucie membership is starting a new month. I just still doing a lot of few days like launching. Do you still doing that, or how is?
Yeah, a little bit. I would say I'm more on an evergreen model now. And most of my launching happens to my email list. I'm not good at social media. Like anyone who follows me on Instagram will know it's not my strongest point. I do need to get back into it. But definitely anyone who says the email list is king is absolutely right. That's where I do most of my marketing, and it's where I find most of my students and I tell them about it. So I definitely find at the moment for me that's really effective, and it's just on an evergreen model at the moment. Definitely launching at periodic times throughout the year is something that I'm thinking about, kind of how to combine it with maybe some kind of special event or something. But I think another thing that I really like about the membership is it's flexible as to how you can market it, and you can change it, you can try something new, you can experiment, and you're not kind of tied to these sort of 3-time-a-year launches where you've got this formula set up and this is how you do it and this is how you're going to do it, and the flexibility is not so much. I think when something's open or it's monthly, there is a bit more room there to experiment and to try something new and different ways to connect with students. So I like that as well. It's been fun to try some new things.
Yeah. Just wait a sec. The sun is coming in, so
no worries.
see me. Oh gosh, I thought I was. Okay.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, I'm just doing it like this.
No worries.
Yes, and how did you find it because you already had the online courses, and then are they inclusive in the membership? Or
yeah, exactly. So all the courses that I had are all available in the membership. I sort of always describe it to people as it's like Netflix for food photography education. because I think people understand that it's like, okay, so you have a subscription, you get access to everything. There's no sort of, at the moment, I don't have different levels of access, or, you sign up for this course or that course. You just get everything, because part of what I really wanted was for students to really have a choice and for them to have everything they needed there, so they can decide, I want to learn about composition or I want to learn about editing, and they didn't have to purchase 3 different courses at $400 each or more to do that. They could join and actually have all the courses and choose for themselves. They could do everything, or they could do one, or mix and match how they want to. So all of my courses are in there, and since I opened it, I've added I think 3 more courses, and this year I'm working on a lighting course. So I also find it's much easier to add new things without having to do a big build up and a launch every single time. I can get content to the students a lot quicker, which I think makes it more valuable as well. It's easier for me, they get things quicker, and I can also really listen to their feedback about what they've really been enjoying or what they feel is missing. And if there's something that a lot of people are asking for, I can really quickly sort of put it in there and make it and know that it's going to help them. So do you do it the same way?
I do recognize you, because my problem was that every time I had a new idea for a new online course, then I have to make it, I have to launch it, and the whole thing. And now if my brain thinking, I have a new idea, it can go in my Lucie membership.
Exactly.
And I'm still hesitating, because I'm still I'm trying to focus, and I'm trying to offer less, because I think if you offer less, then you can focus on that and make it very strong. And now I don't know if people have that, but of course I still offering the free online courses. 2 of them are already in my Lucie membership, and I have the advanced photography workshop, and maybe I'm going to put it in my Lucie membership, but I still don't know. But I'm noticing when you're doing not a launch for an online workshop, it's like easy. It's not like a cash, you really have to do like a lounge or
you do
like that. And sometimes one customer order all the free online workshops, but mostly of the time it's different. So, and I think it's also part of a process. So I think it's great to hear your version, because I'm thinking I'm in the same, in the same. So you're making it online courses, doing the launching thing, and I also learned it from a marketing expert. I don't know, did you have help from a coach or stuff like that?
So I've been working with my business coach for quite a few years now. Actually, we just sort of meet on an ad hoc basis, but for sure it helped to have someone who is not in your business to help you look at things and have ideas that you didn't have, or sometimes even just give you a push to do something that you don't maybe feel sure about, but then actually it's the right thing. So definitely that helps me a lot. I really value sort of those times with her where I get to just brain dump everything that's in my head and talk through things and take all these ideas and get them into some sort of a structure.
I'm laughing because I do recognize myself.
Yeah definitely. But I think it's so valuable to have that time with someone. If you find the right person who you really connect with, then it can be really special. And we have a really great relationship now outside of business coaching as well, which is also really nice.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah,
that's so great to hear. And do you have a team now, or do you have team members who's working in the membership?
Yeah, I do. Last year I hired a membership manager. She works with me a couple of days a week, and honestly she is amazing. She's really changed my life, and that's not an understatement. I think in the beginning it's a bit scary to outsource, because the financial side is a bit scary, but I could always see you reach a bit of a plateau if you don't invest. Like, you have to invest to then grow, otherwise you sort of reach this point. But more just handing things away and letting someone else do it, and that they may not do it exactly the same way you would, but that's the whole point. You hired them for their skills and their unique abilities, and giving them something to be able to do better than you can, for me, has been one of the most valuable things. So for sure, having that help in the membership is amazing. And the other thing that I did last year was hire a video editor. So I have help now editing my YouTube videos and my courses and everything. I can edit videos, but it takes so long. And for me, it was just something that was such a barrier to getting things out quicker. So being able to just film the video and then hand it away, and then sometime later you get it back and it's like, great, now I'm ready to post it. That was just also really transformational. Definitely.
I totally agree also with this, because I also have a team, and someone who's doing the editing for my videos, and but I have to admit, for my Lucie membership, I'm doing the video by myself, just with my phone. So I bought the iPhone 13.
Oh wow,
great about the sound and just the resolution of the video. So it's pretty easy to just record the video. And I have an intern, and she's filming me like this, so it's very simple.
Is that for like the live styling videos?
Or food styling videos. And last time I was, I think, 12 days in quarantine, because first the boys had corona and then we had corona. But I had still to record my interior photography course. So I just filmed it in my living room. It was a small piece. The rest of it was an online masterclass with examples. But it was like, I know the feeling, I have to make a video, but you just do it with your phone, and then you can edit it by yourself. But if I have to make a video with music and text, it's totally not my thing. So then I will hire someone else. But I have to admit that since January, I'm doing more in membership, and also more in the Instagram account for my Lucie Beck clubs. So the team member who was doing that thing, she got another job. And actually, I did have some assignments, but I was not fully booked. So I did take back my Lucie Beck clubs account, and actually it was good and great, because I felt it again, Like, I was I'm now making backdrops again, and I'm just feeling the flow in it. But sometimes Of course, when you have a full agenda or you don't have time for it, then I think it's great. But it's also, I now experience it to have the control back.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm still outsourcing some things, of course.
Yeah.
Because I believe you have to do where you're good in it.
Yeah.
But it was a surprise to me that I found it very fun to do.
Yeah, definitely. And I think everything goes in phases in life and in business. And, you know, maybe in one phase, it's right to do something a certain way, and then something changes and it's you change it, and that's fine. There's definitely something that I've learned in the years of running business. When I started, I sort of had this idea of where my business was going to land and that it was going to be this thing. And I had the plan mapped out. And I thought once I reached there, then that was just going to keep running. And now I'm like, you were so stupid because everything is always changing. Everything is a constant evolution. And actually, that's great. I love that. And now I really embrace that things are going to look different in a year than they do now. And I don't necessarily know how it's going to be. And I think that's really good.
Yeah, so you don't know if you're asking yourself, how do I see me in about 1 year?
Yeah, I mean, maybe 1 year I do have an idea, but there are certainly things that I do now that I think in a year will be done differently, or they will evolve into the next stage of something, you know, and they're always going to change. And I think for me, that was sort of what happened with the membership as well. The idea to do the membership and then actually launching it came within about 6 months for me. And it actually happened because of a really bad launch. So I'd launched this course a few times actually. And then I had one launch and it didn't sell that well. That, you know, sometimes it happens.
Yeah.
And it was a moment for me to step back and think, well, why? Well, there's a million reasons why. It could be just it wasn't the right time for people, or the emails weren't quite right, or something. But it was a chance for me to say, but this is what my business is relying on at the moment. And if I have a bad launch, that really affects me for the year. So how could I do this differently? And then the idea of a membership came to me. And then for the next 6 months, I set it up and then I launched it. So that evolution actually was huge, but happened really quickly. I definitely don't think in a year's time, I'm not going to be doing the membership anymore. But certainly the format of things or what is offered and those kinds of things can change as well. It's already changed a lot since I launched. So yeah, I hope we're always making it better. That's always the goal, is to improve it.
But you were saying, I don't think if in about 1 year, the membership is still available, or...
Oh no, I definitely think it will be.
Oh.
Yeah. As in 1 year, I definitely think we will still have the membership. But maybe there'll be different things in it. Like there'll always be the courses and the core things, but we're always trying new things. Like we started monthly live member calls last year. So every month we do a Zoom call, members can submit images, we do live feedback, and those have been really great. And who knows what other things we might do in the next year. So I like to keep it open for feedback from members as well, to really see what is it that will help them on their journey and evolve the format of the membership to better serve them. Yeah,
that's great. I remember I still have to do it because I'm now focusing right now on the content, but I'm just started like 3 months ago.
I think that's totally normal. Like for me, I launched in January 2020, and I think for the first year I had a very clear content plan, because I knew that there were things missing that it needed that it didn't have yet, and I knew what I wanted it to be as a platform. So I had to spend that first year kind of filling it up with this content, so that when members join, they have a bit of everything. That's what I really wanted them to be able to come and learn: composition, editing, lighting, you know, all of the core things. And then once those gaps were filled, then I could start thinking more about the smaller things that could be a bit more flexible, and the calls and all of that kind of stuff. So I think it's normal.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, and I think it's I'm very happy because I also noticed it when I had like the online course, Basic of Food Photography. First time launching, it was all great, selling, Yahoo. Second time, great, but less. And a third time, okay, guys, where are you?
Exactly. Like, is anyone there?
Yeah. So I totally had the same.
Yeah.
So, and now, and also you have the advantage of the recurring income.
Yeah.
And it was like a technical sort out thing. You have to sort out all the technical parts. And luckily I had someone in my team, he was very great in it.
That's good.
And of course, in the beginning, there were some bugs and stuff like that. But
yeah, of course.
Child diseases, you call them.
Yeah.
And I'm still also, I'm convinced that people still have to get familiar with it, because so you're launching something and people have a look on it or not, but they have to get familiar, because I think lots of people know you have the Food Photography Academy. That's where that's your thing.
Yeah.
So, and sometimes I'm a bit impatient. But people have to need this time to get familiar with it, and
they definitely do. And I think for me, even 2 years in now, people, in my opinion, there are still people who don't quite get it, or because I think memberships are still a little bit new in our world, in this food photography niche. So I still definitely have people who think it's a course and they're like, they don't quite get it. I'm like, no, it's like 6 courses and all of this and this. So I still think there's learning happening generally about memberships, and yeah, for sure, like marketing and establishing your place, it takes time. It's definitely something I don't feel like I'm there yet. I'm working on it, but it's a journey like everything else. And I think it's I don't know, I'm thinking about starting some paid marketing this year. I've never done that before. Have you ever tried that?
You mean on your blog or stuff like that? Or?
Yeah, so like doing some Facebook ads or Instagram ads or Google ads, something like that for, something. It's not something I've ever tried before, but it's definitely something that I'm interested in trying, just to see how it could work.
To add for your for the academy.
Yeah.
Well, the coach that I have now, Mike van Ham, he is doing all my Facebook and Instagram ads also.
Oh, okay.
Yes, because I tried it before, but it isn't my thing.
Yeah, no, it's not my thing either. I mean, I can't even do like free Instagram, so let alone paid.
But you really have to test, and you really have to find out which photo is working or video, which text is working, the customer audience. So there are all on one hand, there are all 4 or 5 things you have to test. And you have to change it, so you have to deal with it every week.
Yeah.
So I'm outsourcing that to him, and of course, and now we're coming to get how do you call it, profit, because the ads also cost money, of course.
Yeah.
And you have to got the right offer and the mail funnel. So it's a totally
it's like a whole thing.
Really. So I think if you're thinking about that, it's really in your advantage if you call someone who is
like an expert in
an expert.
Yeah, definitely.
And especially if you already have like a full work week, and it's totally something new.
Yeah.
And if it works, you get your money back,
Yeah, for sure.
But we're still testing, and of course I have a lot to offer.
Yes, so that's always a challenge as well, isn't it? It's slimming it down to what to advertise.
Yeah,
because I think as well, like I'm sure you find the same in a membership. There's, 100 things in there that you could talk about, but it's not necessarily helpful to talk about all of it, especially not at the same time. It's a bit overwhelming and not so clear for people.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, and sometimes, okay, now we're focusing on online, or maybe the backdrops. I also have still the web shop in my Lucie backdrop.
Yeah.
And you have the vinyl backdrops, but also the digital backdrops. So that's also a possibility. And now I'm giving the 3-day food photography camp in March.
Yeah.
My studio here in Breukelen, next to Amsterdam. And I love it, because connecting with people offline is also very nice.
It is so nice, and it's something I've missed a lot. Like, I know we were supposed to do a workshop together. Literally, I think it was the week that Corona hit. In 2020, and I'm still hoping we're going to reschedule soon. But I really have missed that in-person teaching as well, and I'm really looking forward to doing more of that again.
Yeah,
it'll be.
But now I have a big studio.
And I'm moving into a studio in May. I'm so excited.
Oh, yeah, great.
Yeah, I can't wait. I've loved watching your stories and everything of setting it up, and I look at it and I'm like, oh, it's so cool. I'm so excited.
And is it in your new home?
It is, but it isn't. So we've bought a flat in a building, which is on the 3rd floor, and then on the 1st floor we bought an office space. So that's going to be my studio. So it's like it is at home, but it's not at home. So I can really separate home life and work life, which is something I'm really looking forward to. But I don't even have to go outside to go to work. So that's still a bonus.
Yeah, I think it's such a luxury to have your own studio.
Oh, it's a total luxury. It's something that I've thought about and wanted for years, but it takes time to get there as well. And I'm very excited, very lucky to be able to do that.
Yeah, I'm here now at the 1st floor, and I'm organizing. I have my own prop shop.
Oh, so cool.
Yeah. So every weekend I'm going to thrift shops or searching online for old baking trays and stuff like that.
Oh, wow.
And if people like this Saturday, older people will give a flash photography workshop. Yeah. For my Lucie, but I'm not a teacher, but to other teachers. But then people can shop here, That's amazing. Yeah, and those are my big. I really love to shop all those food styling props, and so and I'm just thought about it. Well, why not? I have the space. That's such a great idea. Yeah. So that's I love it. Yeah. Oh, amazing. Well, I can't wait to visit. Well, maybe we have to look if we can give the workshop together. But I know we had a discussion about your country is closing the borders. Yeah. Maybe it's not a good idea. Yeah, and then suddenly the whole world was in lockdown. So that was weird. Yeah, great. Yeah, so we already talked a lot. We did. Do you have questions? Oh, do I have questions? That's a good question. Okay, my question would be, and maybe we already talked about it a little bit, but what would be your favorite way to connect with your students in your membership? For me, I also have the online community, and it's I'm using Huddle. It's a Dutch company, and I also have they also have an app, so that's really cool that you just can watch all the videos on your phone. So I do have the live Q&As, but sometimes I find it hard to choose the time. Yes. So when I'm doing it in the morning, I will lose the people from America, for example, or just other countries, India or stuff like that. So sometimes I think it's really hard to choose the time. Yeah. And people like the half of it doesn't working as a photographer or they do have their daily jobs.
Yeah.
And I'm in my good energy in the morning.
Okay. Yeah.
And not in the evening. And I know maybe I have to do it more, help my Q&As in the evening because lots of people are at home. But then I'm just tired from the whole day.
Yeah, I can relate to that. I'm a total morning person.
Yeah, and I have good vibes, good energy. So yes, still searching for that. And also how if there are new content online, I don't want to overload them with all the emails, but students ask for it. From can you send an email? So I'm still searching for the good way. What is the good way?
Yeah, totally. And I think you have to find it for your students as well, like what suits them. And yeah, oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
With the calls, we've started alternating the time each month. So in 1 month, I do it at 8 a.m. my time, which works really well for people in Australia. Ironically, normally I'm the only person there where it's in the morning. And then the next month we'll do it at 6 p.m. So, and then we just switch every month. So far that seems to be working okay. I think people understand that if they can't make this one, then the next one is for them. So, but we have had a couple of people tune in when it's like 2 a.m. their time, which is crazy to me because I am not up at 2 a.m.
Yeah. And I think I'm also convinced that you have to sort things out, and especially when it's totally new for you.
Yeah.
I also had I thought I want to do like an online membership, and you just started, but you don't have like someone who's telling how everything works.
Yeah, exactly. It's just kind of forging your own way.
Yeah, and I think that's also like a power. I mean, you also started this, and maybe you can think about it and don't get any into action. But we just do it.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so I think that's great. Oh, I just had another question for you.
Sure.
Do you photographing lots of food for clients at the moment?
I do still do client work. It's definitely less than I used to because I want to make sure that I have time for the membership. It takes a lot of time. But I think this year I'm noticing client work is picking up again. I'm getting more inquiries than I was the last couple of years, where I think a lot of the food industry things were quite closed or just, struggling. So I'm still doing some. I have a regular client, which I really like. I always try and teach my students, if you can find clients with a recurring work, that's really nice. Not only does it give you stability, but you also get to know each other over time. And I think that helps the work be better as well. So still doing some, definitely still enjoy doing client work as much as I can. But trying to balance the two, the teaching and the client work. But I like the variety of having both as well.
Yeah, me too. And I'm also, like life of food photographer doesn't have to be only exist about assignments.
Exactly.
So I think I started like in October or November. I decided I'm not going to tell to every assignment yes. I really want to have the feeling I really love this assignment and where I get lots of freedom, hopefully. But sometimes if I don't feel it, and then I will recommend someone else, because I think you can help each other.
Definitely.
But I also like the variety, difficult word. But I also really love to get more like Lucie time. And when I have not very appointments, then I suddenly think, okay, I'm going to do a freestyling session or a food styling video for the membership, and that only exists when I have time.
Exactly. Yeah. No, it's definitely important to build in that time as well, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, and I also think when I just started out, I really did it every week. And now, because you're full of work, you don't do it anymore. And actually, that's a pity.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's something that people forget. You know, in the beginning, you do a lot of personal work and a lot of things to learn new skills. And then you do a lot of client work and you don't have so much time for that anymore. And client work is good, obviously. It's, you know, it's a challenge in a different way. But I personally, I'm not sure if you find it the same. It never gives me quite the same creativity as when I'm doing my own things. Like sometimes you do get a job where they're really open and they really want your style. But quite often, even it comes with a brief where they're like, you know, we want this and that color. And that's great. You know, that's absolutely fine. I love doing the client work too. But I think it is important to do the personal stuff where you've got no brief from someone else and you're just working on your skills, your eye, your creativity, because that's what's going to help you develop as a photographer as well. So it is really important to still make time for it.
Yeah.
But it's challenging as well, especially in the beginning, you know, where you're just starting to get client work and you're building a business. Obviously the income is also important. So yeah, it's challenging.
Yeah, I do recognize it. And well, it's also, of course, like a process. But I think it's important to have several ways having of income. So an assignments and like a membership or an online course or
definitely.
Okay. I think it's great to hear that how you started with the membership and well, how you build everything up, and also that you have, when you have a creative idea, you can put it into there.
Yeah, definitely.
But I would really like to thank you for this lovely talk.
Oh, thanks so much for having me.
Yes, of course. And I already knew that we could have nice talks.
Yeah.
So thank you so much. Can you tell people where they can find you?
Yeah, absolutely. So you can find me, Lauren Carris Shaw, on YouTube. Then I have my blog, foodphotographyacademy.co. And then from there, you can find the membership as well. I'm also on Instagram, lauren.c.shaw or Food Photography Academy. So yeah, thanks so much.
Thank you so much, guys. I will also put down the information about Lauren in the show notes. Thank you for listening, and see you in the next podcast. Bye, Lauren.
Bye.
Bye.